Zebulun Proctor.
Yeah, you just call me Zeb.
All right, Zeb. Again, thank you for being here for this interview.
Yeah, thank y'all for having us. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Well, hey, it is, again, our absolute pleasure. So to get started, just wondering, Zeb, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, what's led you to where you are right now.
Sure. Lived here pretty much my whole life. I kind of went away for a while in the Marine Corps. Lived in Caryville on Park Road. Love my community. Went to the Marine Corps for 4 years right after high school. Had some really good experiences there. Built some really good relationships. Came back home. Got into welding. Right now, I've done a lot of pipe welding, a lot of different things. But right now, I'm teaching. And then this past summer, things just kind of happened, and now we're here where we're at. I got a really great job in teaching and talked to some people and mainly coach, and had some stuff on our heart, and that's why we're here at Beat Down Suicide now. And thank you guys again for having us. This is just great to be here with y'all.
Well, fantastic. So it sounds like you're a thoroughbred Campbell County, and as far as your experiences, you've kind of been through everything there. You've went to school here, apparently, been in the Marines. You've got that military veteran, which is a strong aspect of Campbell County, in my experience.
Absolutely.
There's that military legacy here, and then you're working, you're doing here now. Something of interest is you mentioned you're teaching now, teaching welding, correct?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so you say it's something that you find a particular joy in over just doing the welding itself? You like the teaching aspect?
Yeah, I think it's really nice to work with the youth, and I think maybe that was kind of part of a push to what kind of led me to approach Coach Faust and Derek Pendleton, which are kind of the co-founders, think tank of what Beat Down Suicide is, and what we're trying to accomplish. Kind of all that kind of came about. We're trying to help the youth and just seeing the youth, and a couple of other instances that happened this past summer with suicide, unfortunately, that kind of just all those things that accumulated, and now we're here where we're at.
Okay, so it definitely sounds like you and the other founders of Beat Down Suicide come at this with the heart of a teacher, that you're here wanting to educate and mentor people into a better path. Yeah,
I don't think educate. I would probably want to say more empower is what we want to do. We're not therapists or medical practitioners, so to speak. Now, we do have many nurses on our staff, but that's not their field. We want to work with Ridgeview. We want to work with Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network, which we're doing an event with here soon. We want to work with these that they can educate you, but we want to empower the community and be aware that they can do those things. And a lot of the ways that we can do that, we think, is that the gyms have given us just been wide open, with our wide open arms to help us with that. So more empower than educate, and that was the idea behind it, the driving force, to give people a network, so to speak, to get that knowledge they need.
Well, that is fantastic. I really do enjoy that term there, empower. That is something young people need more than anything, I think, sometimes, just to have that voice, that representation. And
really just everybody in general. I want to kind of reiterate that, our focus is the youth, but this is for anybody. We've got big goals in the future with, rehabilitation into a community where people feel accepted. And that's from people from registered nurses, EMT, police officers, veterans, so on and so forth. Anybody dealing with, mental issues, mental health, anything that has that stigma, we want to have them a safe place like, hey, we deal with that too. You can come hang out with us.
Wow, that is fantastic. Now, as I'm listening to you here and you're laying out these plans for this organization that you're putting together with this and talking about being empowered, you were in the Marines at a very young age, and I'm sensing that seems to have kind of helped give a foundation for what you're doing now. How did that affect you, being in the Marines at that age, and how did that help lead to where you are now, would you say?
It saved my life, to be honest with you. Campbell County, I didn't have a lot of good direction here. There wasn't a lot of things to do, a lot like what our youth experiences now today, and honestly, in some ways, even more so with the introduction of social media and phones, and I think we're even more compact now, more turned off, rather than embracing each other and being a community. So that helped out with just the experiences the people had put in my life, and you know, showed me what it was to have that support group that's there for you no matter what.
All right. And that seems to be kind of a driving word for all this, is a support group is what we're aiming for, a place where anyone can come and they can find the support they need.
Support group, support network, whichever way you want to look at it, you know, because we want to. Campbell County is where we started at, but we're looking so much further than that. You know, we want to. We're already working and branching out with KMAA in Knoxville. We want all the gyms to hop on, not just combat sport gyms, but also just any gym that has a community of people that go there. We want them on board with us, and we want to help them get their message out there that they can have a positive place to improve themselves.
Okay, that actually answers my next question, that you're looking to build a network not just for physical health but mental health as well, to make people whole.
Yeah, absolutely. To be whole and just to be content. You know, everybody feels in some way lesser, self-conscious, you know, especially with the high expectations social media and TV puts on everybody. You know, if you get into a gym, you know, you could really find yourself within friends and just yourself, and push yourself to limits that you wouldn't think you could originally have before.
Yeah, fantastic. Just amazing hearing you bring out so much passion into this. I can tell how much it means to you to reach out to these people, whoever they are, wherever they may be, to help them get to a better path and get to a better them. So on that note, you was talking about some of your experience in the past and what that's led you here. So if I may ask, what has actually led to beat down suicide? What was the impetus that made you decide Campbell County needs this now?
It's kind of like a combination of a few things at one point. Like this past summer, I had two friends, close friends, commit suicide. One from the Marines, and then one that was a childhood friend of mine that went to the Army. Many people knew him. You probably went to school with him. Grew up with him, played paintball with him. Just we were next door neighbors, and you know that it kind of hit home with me. I remember when that happened. I called everybody from my platoon that night. I was, "Are you okay?" Left voicemails. They called me back. You know, and at that point in my life, I kind of felt that we were at a point where, well, I've not heard anything bad here lately. Nothing's going wrong. You know, maybe this isn't as bad as we think. Maybe this is where we're imagining this, and then boom, like that too, dead. You know, and it's just, it kind of hit me. And I read a book called Tribe by Sebastian Junger, and it kind of outlined some of the things that I've always been thinking, and I just never had anybody put in words for me. And I had a lot of great points to why PTSD and depression and mental health is such a problem in America. And through reading that book and these issues happening, two incidents happened, and then just been on my heart for a while, and then kind of where we ran into with being an educator, dealing with young people, I kind of see there was a need for that, you know, just seeing in their faces. And that's just, once again, not just for the youth, but for everybody. Okay,
fantastic. But I was wanting to follow up with you there. You was talking about how everything seemed to be well until it wasn't. And I think that's one of the most threatening things about suicide, is it's so silent. No one knows until it happens.
Yes, sir.
I've read some things about that sometimes some of the biggest symptoms of it can be when people are happier than you'd think, that they seem very cheerful, they're giving out more gifts, and you know, you wouldn't think there's anything wrong, and then they're just not there anymore one day. So I really respect what you're doing there, and that leads me to my next question. When you use that word tribe, which I intend to read that book, that sounds like a fascinating read, but when I think of that word, it does make me think of a group that has come together to give each other a voice, and you know, to combat that sort of silence. So would you care to explain a little more about that? Why is it when I'm reading about beat down suicide, I see that word tribe used specifically?
The reason for that being is that it's kind of like a mindset. You know, when we get people when beat down suicide is operating at the capacity that we intend on it to operate, we need to have people that are bought into the system in which that we present them, because memberships aren't free. There are things we want to make sure that we have the right people where they need to be, helping them and getting them where they need to be, because we don't want to waste any type of help or anything that we get in terms of volunteers. The tribe is a kind of a check of balances in that we give voice and we empower them, but we also have to check them, say, hey, we've not seen you in the gym. True, like now I get calls from coach, I've not seen you in the gym this past week. I know I've been great in tests, it's been terrible, I hate it. That type of checks and balances, guys. Hey, I haven't seen you in the gym here in a while, I'd be love to see you again. And we just want to continually check each other till we improve each other, and then we feel better about ourselves. It's a mentality in that you always have somebody there if you need them. That's something you asked about the Marines earlier. That's kind of a mentality I learned in the Marines.
Fantastic. It's amazing seeing how everything in your life is sort of culminating into what beat down suicide is right now. Which on that, just in your words, you've already been doing that, but if you could just tell Campbell County what beat down suicide is to you. It's
a means to present a way for the youth and anybody struggling with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, all these issues, a place where they can come without stigma, without any type of judgment, with any type of stereotypes. They can just come to us and say, hey, I'm dealing with these issues, and somebody will be there to talk to you. Will we be able to give you the expert help? No, but we'll get you in the right place for that expert help. We're right now working with, once again, I mentioned them earlier, Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. We've got a training that's free with them at 300 West Beach Street in La Follette Recreation Center in the old Westtown La Follette School on December 18th from 5:30 to 7:30. And those are things that this is a Tennessee certification in suicide prevention and steps to prevent that. We're trying to equip and empower our volunteers and also the people taking part of our programs. We're trying to give everybody an avenue that they can have a network in which they feel supported. And our biggest facilitator of those are the gyms. Now, I've not mentioned them yet. Tim Zupanik over there at Absolute Fitness. I mean, those guys just came out. I think over half the crowd on the hike, which we had over 60 guys, were somehow affiliated with Absolute Gym, Fitness and Gym. Those guys are just great, and family atmosphere. That gym, Absolute, and Faust Fights are the two embodiment of that tribe mentality that I'm talking about, where you walk in and you instantly feel better. Instantly feel better. So I want people to have that in their head when they're at work or they're at school and they're depressed, and they say, in a couple of hours I'm going to the gym and I'm going to have a great time, and this will be nothing, and tomorrow I'll come back and do this better. That's kind of like what we want to provide, a network to provide that safe environment. And we also want to further education on suicide prevention and awareness on that. Awareness and education is something that we have to be vigilant on. We have to always be looking to improve ourselves there and reach out to people that can help us get the education we need, and then also how to get information to people dealing with, life-threatening issues right there in our rapid response to that. Something we want to make sure that if somebody's really having an issue right there, that we want them to be able to get in touch with Ridgeview or somebody that they can check them in right there.
In fact, I want to follow up. That was the question we had down here. You answered it perfectly. So in case people do have the wrong image of this isn't some sort of AA type of thing. You just go sit in this dry meeting room somewhere once a week. You guys are active. You're doing things. This is about enjoying life and being a better you. And you guys are doing events toward that. Well, that is fantastic. Just a extremely well-balanced, well thought out, extremely productive approach you all are taking to this. So it's this isn't just some spur of the moment situation that's popped up. This is a very structured, very passionate goal to improve Campbell County, and I'm excited to see how that develops.
It's funny you say that because I'm not the structured one. It's kind of funny. Ronald Reagan said it best. If you don't care who gets the credit, there's no limit to what the good you can do. Mm-hmm. And I can't, you said you all was something you said in there earlier, and that was just awesome because the people that have just answered this call is just a godsend. I mean, there's no way that we could be where we're at without, Renee and Carter and all the other volunteers, Coach, Derek, Absolute Fitness, Tim Zupanic, all those guys. I mean, there's no way. I mean, it's not possible with how fast this has grown at the rate it has and how success. Our first event had over 60 people. 60 people, most of whom did not know each other, left each other friends, with a new challenge to bring somebody to their gym, so that goes to all of the volunteers. That has nothing to do with me. Those guys are awesome.
That is amazing. And on that note, you did list off some of the volunteers, some of the staff helping out with this. So for people that are interested in getting involved, how would they go about that if they want to actually help beat down suicide grow?
Right now, I think the fastest way that they could do that is message us through Facebook. Facebook is the fastest way to get our response right now. Okay,
so people can just look up Beat Down Suicide on Facebook, message you guys that way, and coordinate from there.
Yes, sir. That's Fantastic. The way. Yeah.
Well, last question I personally have for you then, and again, you've already touched on this, but just to give you a chance to really lay it out. Obviously, when you're putting this kind of effort in something, you have this much passion in it, you have a vision, that you see ahead, where you want it to go. Tell me, what is your vision? What is Beat Down Suicide 10 years from now, if you get it what you want it to be?
10 years from now, from 10 years from now, we hope that we are a Tennessee program. We hope that we're somehow involved in the state and really involving and making a difference in our state. One of the main programs that we really want to see pushed, and this is actually a brainchild of Coach Faust, John Faust, that came up with this idea, and I think it's phenomenal. He wants to create a program in which people that are dealing with, depression, anxiety, social anxiety, not able to fit in, mental health issues, we want to put them in that tribe mentality, that tribe environment where they can help ref, they can help coach, they'll become certified in USA boxing to help timekeep, judge, reffing, coaching, all those things, cut man, that they get involved and they're actually helping within our youth through the gym and USA boxing. And we don't want that just to be Campbell County. We want that to be at Ace Miller's boxing in Knoxville. We want that to be at Eppolito's boxing on Merchants Drive. All these boxing gyms, we want to do that. And and we're talking to KMAA, talking to some of their pro fighters, and they have programs similar to that too. So maybe there could also be an MMA thing. We want to have a program where we get people involved in these gyms and actually becoming a part of the gym. Carter's a rock star. I mean, the website he made for us is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. It's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's another level. When I saw that, I think it was a Sunday morning. I think I was watching X-Men with the kids. I can't remember. And I just looked at this website. I was like, babe, you have to come look at this. I mean, it was just
He did a great job on that website.
And that's one thing I want to hit on right here is just, you asked about how people help and how you can volunteer. These are two super good examples of how you can help in whatever capacity you want. We're still in our grassroots. We want everybody on board that they can, and if you have an idea, message us. We'll try to work something out. If you want to come in whatever capacity, because there's no way I could do what these two do, and there's no way Beat Down Suicide could be what it is without their help. So we want volunteers, anybody that in any capacity, doesn't matter. I just want to thank you all again, WLAF, for all the support y'all show us. I mean, I think it's great. They are the first station here to really get on this and bring light to the situation. I think that's just awesome. Thank you, guys.
Might I add something? I think, Zeb, you would agree that I think age doesn't matter as far as volunteering. Like Carter making the website, he's 16 years old, so whatever people can offer at any age, it's great.
That's a great point.